My name is Haley Brezack, and today I'm going to be discussing with you a little bit more about turfgrass management and more specifically fairy ring on golf courses. So in today's discussion, we'll be looking at the challenges and background of fairy ring along with solutions, including the status quo solution and then 3 extras. And then throughout the entire presentation, we'll be covering some biological, ecological, and environmental considerations. And then we'll end with a recommended plan for future action for golf courses to take. So fairy ring is a cool season turf disease. Any turf and any course can be impacted by it. It's caused by soil-borne fungi, and this encompasses the mushroom-forming fungi. It creates aesthetic and playability concerns, and golf greens tend to be impacted the most due to the low mowing height. And then it fosters localized dry spots, and this is due to hydrophobic conditions, which contributes to dead turf and then drought stress as well. So a few influential factors on fairy ring are going to be climate, soil moisture, temperature, soil structure, and nutrients. And the current focus right now is that due to increasing golfer expectations, there's a need for consistent aesthetic on the course because these customers are paying for good greens and good fairways to play in. But these rings can be very annoying aesthetically while also promoting drought stress on the turf and around the rings. So in these photos, we'll see in the top type 1, which is dead turf, and this is the most damaging. It's mainly caused by hydrophobic residues, and they occur most commonly on the greens. And then here type 2, we'll see green rings, which result from the release of nitrogen and other nutrients, and it's most evident in the turf that's deficient of nitrogen. And then type 3, we'll see mushrooms or puffballs, and this might occur more frequently in areas that are poorly drained or over-irrigated. So how do we keep up? Prevention versus curative methods, and preventative control is going to be much more effective than curative control will be. But the largest challenge here is going to be that many species of fairy ring have different responses to different control methods, so this makes it hard to have a one-fits-all solution. A few control methods that are out there are chemical control, non-fungicidal chemical control, cultural control, and then biological control. Some further considerations to keep in mind before discussing solutions is that fairy ring is further categorized as either edaphic or ledophilic, so they're either soil inhabiting or thatch inhabiting. So our status quo solution is going to be chemical fumigation. This is most effective as a preventative measure, and there are multiple different chemicals that can be used. So fungicide alone will not only control fairy ring, so we need to use other methods if this was going to be the one choice. But also we have to keep in mind that leaching and runoff into water bodies on the course may occur. Solution number 1 is going to be cultural, which is core aerification. Core aeration means physically removing small soil cores from the turf, which helps reduce thatch and organic matter and minimize fairy ring severity. And this also helps break up the hydrophobic soil mat and improves water penetration, which will help with those localized dry spots. A second solution is going to be just nitrogen application, which helps mask the fairy rings, and then it also helps turn the surrounding turf greener, and the effective turf becomes less noticeable. But we also need to keep in mind that too much nitrogen will overstimulate the turf and could lead to other diseases. The third solution is soil removal, and this is taking all of the soil out of the affected area and then replacing it, and this tends to be very time-consuming and disruptive to the surrounding soils. So the strategies are going to depend on these 3 things: if it's edaphic or ledophilic, the level of turf maintenance, and then the degree of the symptoms. So my recommendation for future action for any golf courses is going to be 1, aerate the soil and apply the fungicide, 2, apply a wetting agent after that, 3, apply nitrogen where needed to mask the rings, and then 4, if necessary, and hopefully at no cost we would do this, but remove the affected turf if necessary. But then one last thing to keep in mind is going to be that the fairy ring is difficult to eliminate in all situations because it's either soil or thatch inhabiting, but we can try and alleviate the symptoms, and that's going to be the goal here with any of these solutions until we find a better plan.